Welcome to NerdsTV Top 12 Movies of 2022. Now, why 12? Well, number one, 12 is my favorite number. Number two, I just love movies. I love watching movies. I watch a lot of movies. So this year I have seen 38 movies, and only 12 of them will have the slot of top 12. The way I scored them, like they're going to be shown right here. If you haven't seen my the video that I uploaded for this one is the Avatar review, and I talked about how I scored them. So 1 being worst, 2 being bad, 3, hold on, let me look for it. 3 is really below average, 4 is just below average, 5 is good, 6 is above average, 7 is great, 8 is really great, 9 is wow, and 10 is one of the best movies that I've seen. So starting from top 12. So number 12 is the movie Bubble. Now I scored that movie a 7 out of 10. Gave it a 7 out of 10. The visuals were great. Like the anime, the anime style is just always beautiful, always smooth, super clean. So yeah, the visuals were a 10 out of 10. Now the story, gave that a 5 out of 10. No, the story was a 5 out of 10. To me it just didn't make much sense. I'm trying to remember now what was the story about. All I can tell you is that it was bubbles, just bubbles. The girl Utah came from the bubble. No, came from the dude that he touched when he was little. I can't remember. That's what I'm saying. It was 5. I can't really tell you. Characters were great though. I love Utah. I love the dude with the blue sweater, headphones, and his crew. Yeah, so the crew I gave an 8 out of 10. The characters I gave an 8 out of 10. Now the music, I loved Utah's song. Like it was beautiful. I loved the way she, I can't do it, so I'll probably put just a little bit in the background. And I was entertained. Entertained was 8 out of 10. I loved the parkour style, the way they were moving. It was just really, really cool. So Bubble, 7 out of 10. Here comes number 11. Number 11, Gray Man, 7 out of 10. Visual, it was a Netflix film. I was expecting a little, it's Netflix, so I was not expecting that great of quality, and I was actually shocked. It was pretty good quality for me, my opinion. I thought it looked pretty good. Story, 7 out of 10. Let me see if I can remember. Ryan Gosling, right? That's him who played the main character. He was, he's usually one of those like John Wick, Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible type stuff. Yeah, he's trying to kill the bad guy who killed the girl that he was looking after. Characters, I didn't really relate to the characters. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I didn't find any characters really interesting, in my opinion, besides Chris Evans. Yeah, the music, I don't remember the music at all, to be honest with you. And I found it extremely entertaining. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, so that's Gray Man for you. Coming in at number 10, Prey. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I gave a lot of movies a 7 out of 10. Visuals. Now, I gave the visuals an 8 out of 10 because I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked on how great it looked. Because it's a Hulu movie. I was not expecting it to look that good, especially at the end. I'm not really a Predator fan, so I don't really know much about the lore and anything. But what I can tell you is that visually, it looked good, especially for a Hulu movie. I thought, to be honest, I thought the movie could be in theater. Like, I thought it was theater worthy. Story, 8 out of 10. The story was basically about the main character, Naru. She wanted to do what the men were doing in her tribe, if that's what you call them. Yeah, she wanted to be a hunter like her brother. Characters, 8 out of 10. Yeah, so this movie, like, really, really good. Characters, I like the characters. I like the brother, I like the dog, I like the main character, and especially, of course, Predator. I love the Predator. I was not expecting it to be gory, like that amount of blood and that amount of gore. I was not expecting it. I loved it. I was shocked. I don't remember the music, so 3 out of 10. And I was entertained. Like I said, it was a really good action movie. It's a really good action movie. That's Pray For You at number 10. Now at number 9. Number 9, Sonic the Hedgehog number 2. I gave this movie a 7 out of 10. Now hear me out. Hear me out. This movie, to me, if I didn't watch this movie in 4DX, I probably would have gave it a lower score. Because this movie, to me, it was just not for me. I found this movie to be way too childish to me. My opinion, alright? Like, the visuals, since I watched it in 4DX, the visuals were great. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like, I felt like, you know, since in 4DX, if you guys don't know, it's basically you're in the theater and you feel the wind of the movie. You feel everything. You feel the water. You feel the rain. You feel everything. Like when something happens in the movie and it moves, you move because the chair moves with you. Yeah. So I gave it the visuals 8 out of 10. The story really didn't hold up to me, except for like the connection between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. But everything else to me felt like a little, like it was for kids. It was, you know, for children. Characters, 6 out of 10. Like I said, I only cared about Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails, and Dr. Eggman. I didn't really care for much of the human stuff. Like that wedding scene, I was not entertained. Like, I wasn't entertained as much as I thought, except for that the only thing that held it up for me was the beginning scene when Sonic fought Knuckles, and at the very end, like that scene at the end was really held me up. Like, I was like, at the end of the scene, like the end of the movie, I was really, really entertained, and that's what held it up to me for it to be at you know, 9th place of my top 12. Like, I loved it. Music, I don't remember the music, but I'm pretty sure at the end the music was really good, and entertained. I was, like I said, 6 out of 10. I liked the beginning, I didn't like the middle, and I loved the end. So there is Sonic the Hedgehog at 7 out of 10. Number 8. Now number 8 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I gave this movie a 7 out of 10, and I don't want to really much go into why, because of reasons that I just don't want to share. I'm sorry. The only thing I can tell you is the visual, 7 out of 10, because the CGI was just, it was off and on with the CGI. Story, 8 out of 10. Characters, 8 out of 10. Music, I did like that fighting scene with the music. If you guys remember, if you guys seen the movie, there was a fighting scene with the music notes. I like that. And I was entertained with 7 out of 10. It was an off and on thing with this movie. I don't want to specify why, but there is Doctor Strange for you, 7 out of 10. Number 7, The Batman. 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's a lot of 7 out of 10s, but with this one, the visuals, I gave an 8 out of 10. How do I explain this? Like, I could see, and yet I could not see what was happening. Like, in the beginning part, it was just dark. I understand that, you know, Batman, he works in the dark, but sometimes I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a theater, if it was me. I don't know if I brought my glasses. I just could not see what was happening in the, like, on the screen. Sometimes. Other times where I did see, it looked great. A better version of explaining is, if you guys watched House of the Dragons episode 7, Driftmark, I think, on the beach scene with Rhaenyra and Damien, it's something like that, where you can see, but you also can't see. It was like that. That's probably the best explanation that I can give you. Story, 9 out of 10. Let me explain this. The story had the potential to be a 6 to a 9 out of 10 because I do believe that this sort of Batman could be a really, really good Batman. And look, he's not even Batman yet. His name is Vengeance. So he's just starting out to play Batman. Give me a second. A little water break. That's good. Yeah, I believe that this Batman has the potential to be one of the greatest Batman, I don't want to say ever, but a really, really good Batman, because the way it just was, to me, I don't know, it just felt, the difference made it for me, but in a sense it didn't, which I'll explain to you when I get to the characters, which was, I love Batman, I love Alfred, I love Catwoman. The Riddler made it for me, but also didn't make it, because I'm used to the old Riddler, the one who's always asking riddles non-stop. It's always with that, that's smart, not that, I don't know, it's just, the Riddler did not seem Riddler to me. That's just my opinion. Don Falcone was really the one that hit me hard. Like, I'm used to, like, Don Falcone being, like, intimidating. This Don Falcone did not feel intimidating at all. Like, you know who played him? The guy from Transformers, I don't remember his name. I can never see him play as an intimidating character. I did not feel it from him. So that's what really knocked it down for me. They did change the story. I was not expecting Don Falcone to be the father of Catwoman. That was a shock to me. I don't know how I feel about that. It's new, it's different. It didn't sit well with me, my opinion. Sorry, guys. Music. Now, I loved the music. It was definitely a 10 out of 10. I mean, that Batman song, I mean, come on, like, Now, entertaining, definitely, I was definitely entertaining. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm just looking through my notes here to see if anything I missed. Yeah, so like I was saying, I wrote it down. This has the potential to be a really great Batman. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 though. Like, I can see this movie being a 9, a 10. I can see it, but I don't want to get too optimistic yet, because there's other movies that are gonna come through, and if those movies are a success, then I will come back and change this to a higher score. But for now, 7 out of 10. Number 6, Elvis, 8 out of 10. I really didn't write much for this, because this is more like a history of Elvis. I love hearing his songs, so visuals, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Story is a question mark, because it's his story. Who am I to, question how his life is? So, characters, 10 out of 10. Music, 10 out of 10. Entertain, I was entertained. Yeah, I was entertained. So I would give it 8, 9 out of 10. So I really don't have much to say, because it's about his life. So 8 out of 10 for Elvis. Now, coming in the top 5, which number 5 is Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. 8 out of 10. Alright, how do I explain this one to you guys? Let me start from the beginning. I waited a minute to see the movie, because I wanted to hear other people's thoughts. Everybody was overhyping this movie, to be honest with you. I came in with high expectations, because all I heard was this movie's the bomb, the villain's great, which they are. I just came in with high expectations. Like, I I'm not gonna say I was a little disappointed. I was not disappointed at all. I just came in with high expectations and it didn't reach it. I mean, still 8 out of 10 is really great movie. Like I enjoyed it through and through. I just, when people was talking about the villain and how good he was, to be honest, DreamWorks has made, to me, my personal opinion, I think DreamWorks has made better villains than Death, you know, because the villain is Death. Yeah, so visuals, 8 out of 10. It looked good. I like this new animation, more color, more stuff on it. Yeah, though I felt like the frame were a little off in the beginning. I don't know if it was just me, but when I watched it twice. I watched it at the theaters, then I watched it at home. I watched it in 3D first. It looked great. It looked great, obviously, but the frame, I felt like it kept freezing for a second. Like, I don't know what it was, but when I went home, when I checked, I'm like, well, maybe it was just something happened in the theaters or something. When I went home and I watched it again, it's in the beginning scene, like it kept, I don't know, it was like the frames were a little slow or something, but then it caught up. It was good. So yeah, story, 8 out of 10. Let me see what I've written down here. I've said that the story is basically what was in the trailer. Yeah, so I saw the trailer, and to be honest, I thought this was just gonna be an average movie. When I saw that first trailer, I'm like, I don't know, really. But it shocked me. I loved the movie. Yeah, I loved the movie. Now characters, 8 out of 10. Give me a second. I love the characters. I love Puss. I love his girlfriend or his fiance or, man, I don't know what they are. I love I love Goldie and the Three Bears. I love Death. The characters that flopped for me was Big Jack Horner and Perrito. Now look, I love dogs, but this dog, I felt like, to me, the movie, I felt like without Perrito and without Big Jack Horner, I think it still would have been a success. In my opinion, I think it would have been even better for me if those characters wasn't there. I don't know. I feel like those characters brought the movie down just a smidge. I'm not gonna say that they're like, you know, but to me it was just, it wasn't it. Music. The music was good. I loved the song of Puss. I loved the end credits song, and then of course the famous whistle. You know, Death's whistle. I ain't having that. And then I was, you know, entertained. 8 out of 10. Music, 9 out of 10. Characters, 8 out of 10. Story, 8 out of 10. Visual, 8 out of 10. In general, the movie, 8 out of 10. Number 4, The Bad Guys. Now this movie, I love this movie. I watched this movie 3 times because I was entertained that much. It was 10 out of 10 entertaining to me. I loved it. The music, 7 out of 10, was good. Characters, I loved the characters. I loved all the characters. There's not a single character in the movie that I don't think right now that I disliked, except for maybe the bad guy. I feel like the bad guy could have been a little better. I mean, look at that. Death, the Puss in Boots is a better villain than this villain, in my opinion. Even though they're technically they're all villains, but then they became good. It reminds me of Megamind. You know how Megamind's the villain and it became good. So yeah, visually, 9 out of 10. I loved it. It was beautifully animated. It was smooth. I don't think I've seen any problems with it, except for maybe, I don't know, maybe DreamWorks has a problem with like framing when it comes to animated like that. I'm not sure. Excuse me. So coming in at number 4, Bad Guys, 8 out of 10. Good. Top 3, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 8 out of 10. The visuals, 8 out of 10. Okay, how do I say this? If you guys have seen the movie, you've seen Ironheart's suit. What was that? Let's be real. Let's be real. What was that? That everybody, I saw the internet because I watched it a little later, and everybody was talking about how this suit was just like terrible. I thought it was a prank, to be honest with you. And so when I went to watch it myself, I'm like, oh my god, these people were not joking. That suit looks like a Power Ranger suit to me. And not only that, that Wakanda water suit was also like, it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good. But everything else was great. Everything else was good. Story 8 out of 10. Story was great, but I felt like the movie was a little too long. I remember when I came out of the movies, I felt like it was a little too long. To me, I felt like it was long. I felt like if the movie was shorter, it could have been better. Characters, 9 out of 10. I cared about the characters. I cared about M'Baku. I cared about the sister. I cared about the mom, who sadly, in the movie died. I felt the emotions with the characters. I felt all of it. The music, oh my god, the music was good. I love the music. I love the thing music. Again with the music, right? I was entertained. 8 out of 10. I loved it. I felt like the movie was too long. Alright, number 2, Top Gun Maverick. Now this movie, 9 out of 10. This movie was just, when I watched it, I said, wow. I loved the movie. The tension. I felt the tension there. Visually, the visuals were 10 out of 10. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved every second. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Like, I couldn't. The story, 9 out of 10. This movie was, I loved the story. I loved the way that the movie carried itself with the characters. You don't need to watch the first movie to watch this one. That's what I liked about it. Like, I was planning to watch the first movie, but I heard stuff about it, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just go in. And you don't need to see the first movie to understand this movie. It was great. The only thing I had a problem with was they never specify on who is the enemy. Like, they just said the plane is basically the enemy. That's it. But even though that it was just like a little, it's a little thing. It still was good. Characters, I love the characters. As a matter of fact, I should say I like the characters. I wish we got more in depth with the characters, because there's a scene where, like, oh, this dude, they're trying to pull up from the practice, from the mountain joint, and I thought he was gonna die. I felt like the movie would have had more impact if the character died. If a few characters died, I felt like this movie would have been a 10 out of 10. If a few characters died, because no one died. Like, no one died. And it's supposed to be a risky mission. I mean, obviously people did die, the enemies, but those are enemies. Excuse me. Yeah, so characters 8 out of 10. Now the music, I love the music. I love the beach scene with the music. It was great. 10 out of 10. And I was entertained through and through. 10 out of 10. This movie deserves a 10 out of 10, but since I felt like no characters really had that emotional impact, or that, like, I didn't feel connected as much as I wanted to connect it with the characters, that's what really brought it down. So 9 out of 10. And yeah. Now coming in at number 1, which is Avatar: The Way of the Water. I mean, this movie was just, it's 10 out of 10. Like, I have nothing bad to say about it besides the story point. Like, I understand some people will be like, the story point really knocked it down. So look, if you see this movie 7, so I even heard some people say 6 out of 10, which is crazy to me. But because some people enjoy story more than they enjoy other stuff, which I understand. But I mean, this movie's gonna have what, 3 more movies, so maybe it will make up for it. That's why I'm still optimistic on it. I loved them. I loved every second, and I'm gonna watch it again. I think this week. Yeah. So that's it. That's all my movies. I really don't know where to go from here. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm just gonna. Those are my movies. I'm probably gonna put a list of all of them again. I hope I have a good background. Hopefully I'm editing this well. I'm gonna just keep this all in, cause I will be doing a blooper section. Let me tell you this. I have recorded so many times because I kept messing up. This is my first time doing something like this, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were with me, and I'll see you on my next movie Nerds TV review.